Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome. So, we're back with Kindaichi. How y'all doing? I do hope you're all fine. So, episode 20. Last episode, we ended off the episode with the smile. And the smile at the death in the bathtub. So, that was something. That was something. I rewatched that episode because obviously it's been a long time since I watched it. But, like, that was quite an ending. But yeah, we're still in the middle of this case, and we're still having to see how this case all pans out. So, let's give it a go. Let's give it a watch. Let's give it a listen. Let's watch episode 20. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get started. We're going to start it in 3, 2, 1. So we've obviously had the disappearance. Well, yeah, I guess you could call it disappearance. But like then you've also the maniacal laughter at the end, like at the bathtub. Is the audio off? Yes, it is. Okay, good. I don't want to get copyright striked here. One thing I will say, okay, I can turn the volume down with that. One thing I will say is that like the website that I'm currently using, the episode looks better. It looks clearer. Like previously, it looked like a 1080p file. Yeah, look at him go. Downgraded to like 720p. Now it actually looks like it's 1080p. It looks like mwah, fuego. Just for comparison's sake, 150, 151, 152, 153. Okay, cool, yeah. She's just smiling. Man, that's still creepy, eh? No, she's cruel. It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. There must have been a significance right there to the plug. The water being sucked drained from the plug. I don't know what the significance here is. Seven and 9 a.m. The timing could have been delayed or interfered with. Tell me. Everyone's smiling. For a second. He sounded like the voice actor for Naruto. Just for a second. But not anymore. This guy. He's gonna be next to die. He's gonna be the next to die. He's cocky. That's the whole reason. Shouldn't you say better half? Of course, but he must have been livid. Livid on the inside. That's why I couldn't be a police officer. Nah, actually not, I could. I've got a very good stomach for this kind of thing. Exactly. Like, I've got a very good stomach for all of this. To not let my personal feelings get into the way. He's obviously the culprit. Obviously, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because he's been there in all the scenes. So, like, I immediately think he's manipulating the time of death. It's obviously furious. What if it was a different person? If it, now that would be a way of doing it. Faking your death. But then what? So why did you become one then? Ask them that question. In my mind, the answer is simple. To investigate the case. Not just to investigate it, but to tamper with potential revenge story. I don't know. That's too easy. No. That's too easy. That would be too easy. Look, if I was gonna murder someone, right? I kind of want to pause it right now. But if I was gonna murder someone, I would not. You wouldn't see me wear this hat that I constantly wear. You wouldn't see me wear that. All right. I also wouldn't be wearing this shirt. I'd buy a fresh shirt. I'd buy a fresh hat and everything. Sunglasses, so nobody would recognize me. See, I don't agree with that. They're coming for me next. Come on. What does it say? There's probably a code here. Someone else like me who doesn't forgive you. He said someone else like me. No, not me, but someone else like me. It's the one police officer, man. I'm telling you. The reason he became a police officer is so that he could meddle with this. I'm just trying to think, like, if there's any clues. For me, the water, the way it was drained, has to have some sort of significance, but I'm not sure what. That's my speakers. Is there any way to do like a timer on like OBS? Then I wouldn't have to put it into post. The reason I'm asking that. What's that? Oh my goodness. Okay. The reason I'm asking. They technically didn't kill her. I mean, technically, that's what the law's for. That's exactly the reason why, like, I wouldn't get personal over cases, because I'm quite emotionally detached. Yeah. Why are you angry at him for doing his job? See, maybe it's because I studied law that I'm like, he's in the right. He's done his job. I'm not gonna fault him. Like, if you ask me, right, he did the right thing. Everyone has to eat, and ultimately somebody else would have represented him anyway. Like, justice is not a thing. It's never been a thing, right? We're trying to get to it, but it's an impossible thing to get to. Philosophical question here, but I won't go into that. I've got some thoughts in my head right now. Strangulation is an easy crime. But there's so much I want to say. I want to pause it so badly. I'll just say it. Screw it. The thing I will say is this. I get why they're thinking like the water is related to like the water torture and that's why it's related. I feel like that's a red herring. What I think it is actually the case is that the reason it was used with water is you can delay the death. But now you gotta keep up the appearance. So like fire would be next. Okay. I mean, he's not really threatening you. He's just telling you what he did. Obviously, it doesn't. What I would do in this situation, I'd quit myself a lawyer, and I would be like, GBH. This guy's a scumbag. An actual scumbag. My heart. Fire. Explosion. Why use... Why use fire though? That just seems too dangerous. That is not good enough. But that's a... You just take it with you. Like the lawyer, for example. He was extremely close to it. But that's also too easy. I'm saying it's too easy. Look how close you are, and your eardrums aren't... Your eardrums aren't bursted. You're perfectly fine. There are so many things that are wrong with this Kate. No. He's trying to save them. He's trying to save him. That's what it is. Come on. They're framing him. They're framing him, obviously. Basically, he's done. Gotta find the murderer quick. There are so many things with this case that don't make sense or are not... Are they exactly perfectly 100% in reverse? It's like you get his fingerprints from sellotape and put it on there. They're perfect. Where's the thumb? Uh-huh. You can find it out? Really? I didn't know you could do that. Mate, we all know you're the killer, alright? We all know you're the killer. They're like immediately thinking about him now. They're like, you're talking too much. Trying to convince them too much. Psychological trick. They're gonna be suspecting him, of course. He's an outsider. He's an outsider. He's right there. Boom, boom. Of course, that's how it would end. Yeah. As I was saying, there is so much of this case that is obviously not right. And this show is extremely clever. But there are so many things that are obviously not right. Like the fire. Now, all of them are just theories to me, but like, if you're trying to drown someone, right? Why use a bathtub? And the only way I can think of is you use a bathtub to hide the time. Because I've got experience, alright? I've got experience with not with murdering someone, not with trying to hide the time, but I've got experience with bathtubs, of course. You know, I take a bath twice a day. I don't like showers. I like baths. I like being there while having a laptop right next to me, just being there in the water and being like, okay, let me have a quick look at whatever I'm watching. Alright, so I have 2 baths a day, one in the morning and one at night. And it takes about 15 minutes, give or take, to fill a bathtub, roughly 3/4 all the way up. If you leave the water on at normal speed, alright? Normal size bathtub too. However, if you turn it up a little bit, just a tiny bit, then it could take about 3 hours. Give or take. I've fallen asleep a few times in the bath. It takes about 3 hours, right? If you like just have it a tiny little bit, it takes about, give or take, 3 hours to fill it up. That is 3 hours where you could buy yourself an alibi. That's the first thing. I think the water is an alibi trick. I think, you know, the water, fire, and strangulations, they are all things to keep in mind. But like the first trick, it being water, it was used to hide the time of the crime. The second trick, the fire / explosion, that was used to like make it seem, I don't want to say make it seem like it's related to the case, because I mean they put so much effort and time into this case that, you know, into finding out the history of this case, and all the people of the case are being murdered. But like, In a way, I almost feel like it's a red herring. I feel like the fire is just there to make it seem like, oh yeah, it's definitely related to that case, and the next person's gonna be killed by strangulations, you know. But I almost feel like they're doing it on purpose, just to throw the investigation off, so they can blame it on the inspector. Like, it still has something to do with the case, but like, not to the degree that people are thinking of, for a different motive, but still related to the case. That's what I think. Honestly, I think it's the police officer. Obviously. That was just a given. But I'm just trying to understand a few things. I know a lot of them are making sense in my head. They're making sense on paper, but not in my head. One of them being, how is he being framed? Now, the controller situation, we get it. Okay, we got that. That's how he was being framed. But how is he being framed? Because it's such a bad job at framing him. It really is a bad job at framing him. And I feel like the text... At first, I thought the text had a hidden message. Like a secret code. But if he's unconscious... If he is unconscious, say tied up and whatnot, why would he need a secret code? And why use him as an... Why try and like pinpoint the case at him in the first place? Like, I don't get it. Like, why try and frame him? Is it truly because, well, you know, he's a police officer, I can frame him, he was there, he cared about it? Is that why? Is that it? Basically, is that it? I feel like that's almost too soft, because if you're framing someone, you're punishing them. Because ultimately, they're going to be the ones in jail. Now, is it just for the murderer to get away, or is there an actual motive? You know, is an actual reason for it? And I most certainly think there is. I don't think anything happens by chance. So yeah, I want to see how the next episode plays out. I'm gonna try and figure out whether I can do like timers on OBS. The reason I'm trying to figure it out is so like that way I can like record multiple episodes at once instead of like constantly having to stop, you know, after each video. But that's the way it is right now. So I'll see all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out and